Welcome back to the Barons pregame show. My guest here is Smokies manager Ryne Sandberg. So the Barons came in here with a pretty good victory opening night, but then right after that, two outstanding performances, 2 wins for the Smokies. So obviously the locker room mood has changed, and you got to be feeling a little bit better about yourself and your club.
Well, we have bounced back and have played 2 pretty good ball games. For me, it all starts with the starting pitching. We've had good efforts. Chen, the right-hander, threw 2 nights ago, gave us an outstanding start, gave us a chance to win. Last night, Coleman, very similar. So, you know, baseball's funny. It really all starts with the guy that has the ball and throws the first pitch. And starting pitching kind of sets the tone, and that's what's happened the last couple of nights. Then we've had some timely hitting with some guys on base. We've taken some advantage of a couple of walks in there mixed with hits. And then last night, Mota came up with a key 2-out RBI, which drove in 2, put the first 2 numbers up on the board. So we had some timely hitting, some good pitching, and a couple of quality games.
Well, that's just basic baseball, isn't it? It doesn't matter how you draw it up. If you can get some pitching in the beginning, play some defense, quality hitting, you're going to get some wins. Ryne Sandberg, my guest here on the Barons pregame show. I've been in the league for quite some time. This team you have is one of the youngest teams I've ever seen in the Southern League. There is not that veteran guy to drive in runs. There might not be that veteran guy to take the ball in the first game of a crucial series. So I'm sure that your patience is going to be tested all throughout the season.
Well, you know what? I think it's a very positive thing because these guys have worked their way up. They had some success last year at High A in Daytona, and there's guys pushing them behind, so they've been pushed to this level. I think they're playing good baseball, but when you're talking about anywhere from 21 to 24-year-olds at this level primarily as your team, I think that's a good thing for the organization because ultimately what we're looking for here is major league prospects, and if we can get a couple of these guys, a few of these guys to the major leagues at a young age, you know, that's only a bonus. And so those are kind of the gems that are out there. But I also find it interesting that as the young players go up, you know, they're asked to compete against the older players, and I think that makes the younger players better. So I think what we have here are a number of prospects because of their age and because of some of the things they can do on the field. So we'll just see how they do this full season, 140 games. If they can adjust and kind of like graduate to the next level, now you got some guys that could help the major league club at a young age, and that's a bonus.
Your responsibilities now are, of course, to manage, but I've seen you for 3 days, and especially yesterday working with a Kyle Reynolds, and you got in defensive position. All of a sudden, there was that big league guy again. So the energy and I guess the drive to teach, Ryan, is still there, isn't it? I mean, I guess ultimately as a manager, you'll still have to be a teacher.
Well, absolutely. You wear a lot of hats out here as a minor league manager, and you know, I find myself leaving the ballpark after a game. The wheels are turning, thinking about some guys individually, us as a team. What can we work on the next day? And it's really kind of fun to incorporate that and kind of set up the daily plan. When we're at home like this, we have some extra time to get out on the field and do some things early, whether it's a team fundamental or whether it's individuals working on things. So I enjoy that part of it. Dealing with things, stressing things, working on things that need to be worked on to help these guys have success and hopefully put together a good season. And I'm enjoying that part of it, along with once the game starts, managing the game. It all works together. And this is my 3rd year doing this. I'm having a blast doing it.
You realize, of course, you are in uncharted territory. I asked your farm director, Oniri Fleeta, I said, name me a guy who's in the Hall of Fame and that was managing. And unfortunately, 2 guys before you, Gary Carter and Mike Schmidt, if you want to call the word experiment, I use quotation marks, didn't work, it didn't last, but here you are outlasting them. You're in year 3. I'm guessing the plans are to continue for years and years and years. What's going to make Ryne Sandberg different from the other 2 guys? Every day you come to work and it's still on your resume, it's on your baseball card, it's everywhere we look. It says Hall of Fame guy. As a player, what's going to make you and continue to want you to manage?
Well, I think first of all, I was given the opportunity 2 years ago in '07 to go to A-ball, and I kind of had the word out there that there was something that I wanted to see, that I enjoyed, see if I liked it, see if there was a future there, and I immediately saw that I did like that. And so now I really forget about the Hall of Fame stuff, and I look at this as a new career. I look at myself as a guy in the minor leagues working his way up, and so far so good about moving up and now being here at AA. I try and come to the ballpark every day to try and not only give something to the players, but also learn something myself. And if one day I would have that chance to do it at the major league level, that's kind of what I'm out here for now. So I've been a focused person and a driven person as a player, and now I see those same things happening with what I'm trying to do now.
All right, in your long career, who influenced you the most with the stuff that you have to do now? Who is a guy that left a little mark on your career?
I would say that I got bits and pieces from a lot of coaches along the way, a lot of managers, a couple managers that come to mind, mainly because we had successful seasons, and I think because they were in charge of us. Jim Fry in 1984 was a manager I had for 3 seasons. He was a good hitting guy. He loved offense. I think I picked up some things from him as far as the offensive side of it. Don Zimmer was the manager in the late 80s and early 90s in Chicago. I think I learned aggressiveness on the base paths, going with your gut feeling, whether hit and run, squeeze, whatever it calls for. And I have those similar feelings that come upon me when I'm over there and the game's out there and the game's on the line. I have a gut feeling and I just kind of go with it. But I think throughout my career I was around a lot of good coaches, managers, even ball players that influenced me as far as coaching. And some of my best coaches were actually teammates. Manny Trio, who happens to be in the other dugout, was a teammate of mine. And I was actually played 2 years of winter ball in Venezuela behind him, watching him on a daily basis. But then he came over to the Cubs, teammates for a couple of years. He was like a coach to me, even though he's a teammate. So there's just all different ways to learn things. And I think I just got a lot over the 16 years from a lot of different people, and that's kind of who I am today.
Smokey's manager is who he is today. Ryne Sandberg, a Hall of Fame player and a manager so far with a pretty good young team. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I will take a timeout. We'll be back and look at our starting lineups in just a moment.